You know, it's funny. Like I was thinking about that. You got probably got people come and be like, "My wife really wanted a refrigerator, so I'm getting her a refrigerator for Valentine's Day." Does that happen? Or
No.
not?
What you say is she really wants a Stearns
washer dryer. Okay.
She really wants a Stearns and Foster. That's what she really wants. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And welcome everyone to episode 220 of Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you are going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Stephen, Anthony, and Kenny. Hello, boys.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Anthony.
Is that Pinocchio?
I'm just, I was a little upset with myself because we literally were just trying to record an episode and we got like 3 minutes in. No, like 13
30?
30. We got 13 minutes in and I actually forgot to hit the button to record. And thank God I looked down or else we would have been doing a whole episode thinking we were covering it. Instead, it was really only about 13 minutes. So even though my compadres are probably not thrilled with me right now, we're going to give you the best bourbon conversation that you've heard all week long. So anyway, gentlemen.
Try.
Bye. And I will pass. And
all right.
We'll see you guys next week. What a great episode it was.
Boom.
But so guys, Valentine's Day is here. It's in the air. It's hot. Oh, very hot. Very. Why do you get so sultry? Did you know that
it's Valentine's Day.
When we first started the podcast,
He's been working out and taking creatine.
He has. You guys don't know this.
Sultry gentleman.
We should take pictures of Steven. He's looking very swole these days. Sir, I'm
trying to reach Kenny status.
Well, the both of you got me beat with muscles. I'm quite flabby. And
quite flabby.
I am very flabby.
I had a soccer player body 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. That's long gone. Yeah. But anyway, so what are the big Valentine's Day plans that we got going on? Anything big here?
Yes. We have a big sale at P-Rats.
Oh.
So if you would like to come by and buy your Valentine something nice and special, we can do it.
Go love Kenny at P-Rats. Nobody beats Kenny.
Fans only. P-Rats.com.
Fans only. You know, it's funny. Like I was thinking about that. You guys probably got people come and be like, "My wife really wanted a refrigerator, so I'm getting her a refrigerator for Valentine's Day." Does that happen? Or
no.
not?
What you say is she really wants a Stearns
washer dryer. Okay.
She really wants a Stearns and Foster. That's what she really wants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Purple has the motion for the ocean. Purple mattresses.
Yeah, remember you recommended that pillow to me? And I think
purple pillow is awesome. Did you buy it or not buy it?
So here's the thing. I'm pretty sure I bought the purple pillow for either my wife's birthday or Valentine's Day or something as part of multiple presents. It wasn't the only present.
Well, a blender too?
A blender. Everybody has to get their loved one a mixer. What's that?
Vacuum
blender and a pillow. Here you go, honey. I'm such a romantic. So I bought that and I gave it to her and she slept with it like a couple nights. Like, I don't know if I like it. And so the funny thing is my son was like in the mode right then of diving into our bed. And he's like, "I love this pillow." And I'm like, "You know what? Mom is wishy-washy on it, so you can have it."
Oh, God.
And so
I love my purple pillow.
Guess who has the purple pillow? My son does.
Was that your son?
Yeah, and he sleeps with it every night. And my wife was okay. She didn't. I got her other things she liked, so she wasn't upset or anything.
I love my pillow, dude.
Yeah,
Kenny's not going to like this. I have some sort of crap like $14.99 pillow that needs to be replaced like a decade ago, and I'm still sleeping on it.
Hey, that's why you had to have surgery on your shoulder and wrist, dude. It all radiates down, man. It all radiates down.
Coming at you with that.
But
calls out.
We don't do like anything big. We both are like Valentine's to us is like a
Excuse me. Did you say
money?
Did you say Valentine's to us?
Valentine's to us with a Z.
All right.
It's like a
yeah. Go ahead.
It's a big money holiday, so we don't do anything big. We don't do the whole, go expensive dinners, set menus and fight the crowds. So maybe Shannon will make dinner that night. If not, I'll have a chicken. Who knows? I might get some Grimes on the way home.
Oh, Grimes. There you go.
I might make like a cheese and bacon quesadilla or have some pistachios or something, wonderful like that.
Beautiful.
Well, speaking of fixed menus, we're going to the 3 years in a row tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you heading?
Oh, you know where we're going.
Oh, yeah, I know. So, okay.
White Castle.
Step up.
Ooh.
So,
Step
Kenny,
up from White Castle. Malone's? That's the only thing I can think of. Step above White
it goes
Castle.
White Castle Malone's.
You
but
say Lexingtonian. I'm like, I'm there.
there you go. But Kenny doesn't know this, and you've talked about it before on the podcast, so I won't blow the cover for our new listeners. But Steven has this tradition, and are you going with Michael this year?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So they get the families together. They head to...
Kenny, we go to a place. Picture this.
Picture this.
Picture this.
Okay.
You have to check in. You have to give them your name.
Oh, wow.
They seat you.
Tony's.
Fixed menu.
Jeff Ruby's.
Sparkling drinks are just brought to your table.
Ooh.
There's decorations.
J.
A
Alexander's.
photo booth.
He's guessing all the fancy restaurants.
And dessert.
Spearmint Rhino.
How much do you think you pay for this?
It's not very Valentine's-y, Kenny.
He said sparkling drinks.
That's true. Sparkling drinks. Sparkle might feed you a
$100
sparkling
ahead.
drink. There you go.
What if I told you it was a Nighthawk special?
Columbia Steakhouse?
Nope.
Ugh.
We are going to Waffle House.
Ooh, it's better than Columbia's.
There you go.
Indeed.
Columbia Steakhouse.
Really?
How's
Waffle
it
House
still
does
in?
it?
Yeah.
Three years in a row we're going.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like Waffle House.
I didn't know that they did that
I
until
actually
he
like
told me
Waffle
about
House.
Yeah.
it. So, I mean, I think that now that I know that, I think maybe we'll have to try to join you one of these
Well,
times. What do you think?
You know when we're going, so make a reservation.
Okay, that's right. You said, would you say like 5 to 7 or something
5:30?
like that? Something. Okay, great.
If you're in the Lexington area, Hamburg, Waffle House, let's
LA,
go.
you're in the LA area.
The LA area, that's
Lexington.
LA, baby. That's
LA.
right.
Gosh, man. Well, speaking of LA, did you guys watch the Grammys recently?
I did not.
I do not watch that kind of stuff.
Why not?
I'm not into all of that. We'll just
Okay.
say that.
Kenny's not into popular music, so that's fine. But I didn't watch a lot of it. Like I literally watched the last hour or so. I can't say that I took in the Grammys, but the craziest thing happened. I'm kind of minding my own business, scrolling on my phone like we all do, and all of a sudden I see all these headlines about Kanye West saying he got kicked out of the Grammys because of, you know, his wife and all this other stuff. His girlfriend, not his wife, right? And I'm like, what is going on? So I Google Kanye West Grammys, and the first thing that pops up is a picture of Kanye's girl with no clothes on. Like they literally went on the red carpet and she walked out with like a fur coat on.
Yeah.
And then turned around all dramatically, opened a jacket up, and was literally wearing like the thing that you put your foot into at the shoe store.
Oh, gosh.
When you don't have a sock. That was the material that was like covering her body. So
Wow.
she was essentially just naked, right? Did you guys see this?
Dang.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah. You didn't see this?
I saw it.
But you can't admit that you saw it?
No, I saw it.
Okay.
I was very shocked.
Yeah.
That would be like, that was a crazy.
Right. I had to, when I saw it, I was shocked and I was like, what is she doing? And then
Like, I thought it was AI generated at first.
right. I didn't, nowadays you don't know. Half
Yeah,
the
you
stuff
don't.
is AI generated, right?
Like you see LeBron flopping on the floor. And like, oh, it's got to be. He's like people's goat, so that's got to be AI generated.
Oh, my
no, that's
God.
real.
But no, it's real.
Yeah.
LeFlop,
LeBron.
go ahead.
Le flop. No, so it was funny. So I turned to my wife. She's sitting there and I'm like, honey, did you see this thing with Kanye West and this Bianca? Is that her name? Bianca Censori? Is it Censori or whatever?
She should have censored. Bianca should have been censored.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the heck? I go, what did she do? And my wife's like, yeah, I know it's disgusting. And when she said that, I was like, it is disgusting. But then I was also like, what? She's also not a bad looking, lady to be
Right.
naked out in public. So I kind of had that moment of conflict in my brain where I'm like, I said, yeah, it's so disgusting. I'm outraged. And I was like, wait a minute. Like just a moment where I was like,
Anthony.
I know I'm going to be in trouble over here. And so I was like, I couldn't believe that like she could just do that, not get arrested. They didn't get kicked out of the Grammys or anything else, but literally, apparently, that's something she does now. Like, do you guys know she like does that? She like wears all kinds of outrageous
Did she wear like
stuff.
a pillow one time going out?
I think so.
Something
like
weird.
wears like really skimpy bathing suits, like to
Yeah.
go on flights and stuff like that. And then what were you saying? There was other people dressed weird there too. But I mean,
Will
like,
Smith's kid.
what was he
I
doing?
forgot
Oh,
his
yeah.
name. He
Jaden.
had like a castle as a face.
Yeah. His face was like the
on his
door, and it was
shoulders.
rounded.
I think I saw that. What the heck's the matter with
I
them?
think you heard Chris Rock was going to be there in retaliation mode.
Boom.
He will protect his house.
Slap. What do the 5 fingers say to the face?
Jeez.
My goodness. But
Crazy.
yeah, that was absolutely insane. So yeah, but I mean, love is in the air. It's funny. I was thinking to myself the one time, I'm like, my wife, what do you want to do for your Valentine's Day? I would just like to go to a distillery. I don't drink bourbon. I'm like, yeah, we could just go to a distillery for me, right? No, we don't do
Maybe
much
one
either.
of those, you can go one of those bed and breakfast barrels.
Oh, that's true. We could
Get
do something
best
like
of both
that.
worlds, right? Little
Yeah.
romantic barrel,
Yeah.
charred action, and get a little sip.
Well, my parents are away right now, so there's no way that I can, get away for the romantic barrel.
Kenny will babysit.
Kenny, will you babysit?
Possibly. I do like both your kids.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can do that.
Just send them down here and tell
They are
us-
not Bebe's kids. So we're good.
They're not Bebe's kids. Bebe's kids. Holy cow.
Tell them my age here.
Yeah, no, all good. No, I know Bebe's kids, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't join Steven at Waffle House, maybe we'll get together.
There you go. There you go. Right?
You know,
I'm afraid.
that'd be good. Well, y'all have never come over for dinner.
We haven't.
We
That's
haven't come to
right.
your house for dinner.
That's true.
So we need to get Shannon and Monty together. And,
I think so, yeah.
See how things go.
Well, it's funny. The other day I saw Steven at basketball.
Basketball.
Our kids are both playing basketball at the same place. They're in different leagues. And the funny thing is my wife told your wife when they were walking out the door, I just found this out because she told me today, she's like, I told them, like, hey, we need to get together as families. Like, I tell Anthony all the time, we need them to plan something, like referring to me and you. Right, Steven? And she's like, we both looked at each other and she said, he'll never plan anything. And I said, oh, I know Anthony's the same way. He'll never plan anything. So we got dogged on by our wives. They said we weren't going to plan anything. So I think, Kenny, we're probably suffering from the same thing to where I am not good at planning things except for coming here to record and, going on barrel picks and things like that. And occasionally a sport ball event. That's what I'm good for. I'm not good for anything else. So we got to work on that. Yeah, that'd be nice to get the families
we
together.
might plan something then.
Yeah, let's try to do that. That'd be fun.
Might do that.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Something for the future.
See if all the bumper stickers that Monty sees and thinks about me are really true or not. That'll be interesting to find out.
What was that one?
I
FDA
forgot.
is liar or something like that. I think it was something like the FDA is a fraud or whatever. We were
And
driving
they
down the
are.
highway and she saw that. It's like, that reminds me of Kenny. Oh my God.
The level of distrust I have for the government.
Oh, jeez.
Anthony,
Yes, sir.
do we have a review for this week?
We actually do have a review, and I'm going to surprise Kenny with
Good.
this one because he's probably forgotten about it by now.
Uh-oh.
But love is in the air with Valentine's, and we were not feeling the love, even though this listener left us a 5-star rating. Okay, so this listener, Rick 3826, left us a 5-star rating, which was very kind. So thank you for the 5-star rating, Rick. But Rick said the whiskey of the year is not very helpful to the casual listener. Seems like it's more for y'all's friends group and stroking your own ego. Your own barrel picks included? Question mark. Really? Question mark. And once again, Kenny is criticizing other whiskey tubers. He's the only one who does this. Kenny, your response.
You have the floor.
Yeah, the floor. Sir, time for you to spend your time to explain yourself, Mr. Critical.
I love everybody. And
I love everybody.
thank you for the 5-star review. And no, I mean, I don't know where to begin on that. I really don't. First off, thank you for the 5-star review. So a couple things on that. This is in no particular order, but we were doing best of blinds. I was doing best of blinds,
Right.
with Alves, Jordan, and then, one year it was Caleb, another year my wife, another year Jordan's buddy Andrew. We were doing best of blinds, I believe, 3 years prior to me being on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the best of blinds has nothing to do with the podcast.
Yeah, it's not like we manufactured Best of Blinds for the
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
So what we do on Best of Blinds is we say, what is the best whiskeys that you have tasted this year?
Right.
In general, just to reiterate, some of the best whiskey you're going to taste will 100% not be sitting on a liquor store shelf and you walk in and you can buy it.
That's for sure.
It is either going to be the highly allocated stuff that you might walk in and get because you won a lottery, like you went to Liquor Barn's raffle a couple weeks ago.
Right. I didn't win anything, by the way.
Or
no wins.
Empty-handed.
Yeah.
empty-handed.
Or if you are a high dollar client and some places like Liquor Box and other places will save a bottle back for someone that spends some money there, you get points.
Right.
Or if you are in a controlled state and you win part of the lottery. So some of those kind of like premium allocated bottles, or it's going to be that one-off. It's going to be that MGP. It's going to be that Heaven Hill. It's going to be that whatever barrel that you went and did a pick on that was like hiding out somewhere, like the honey barrel thing. So the best of blinds is just literally for us to say what's the best thing that we've tasted. And it's actually the opposite of what that review says. We literally can kind of tell by tasting things, hey, this is probably the top 10 to 20, 15 to 20 things we tasted.
Right.
We upped it to 66 to include bottles that we 100% without a shadow of a doubt knew would not even finish close to the top, but we included them because they were mainstream bottles, big name bottles, Michter's 10s and hot, things that were hot, like a lot of that Wild Turkey Buffalo Trace stuff. Even though we knew it was not finished toward the top, we still included that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the opposite of that. And we 100%, man, we always talk about the very best whiskey that you taste is whiskey that you're drinking around a table with friends, whether that is a $20 bottle, a $50 bottle, a $500 bottle, a $2,000 bottle. So we're definitely not trying to show off and showcase and do this and do that. But we've had some of our most listened episodes and we get so much feedback. So like literally for that one review, we will get 10 other reviews, and not even reviews, just messages.
Just messages, yeah.
It's actually more like messages than reviews. So many times it says, man, I visualized that I was around the table with you all hanging out.
Right.
That episode we listened to was like me and my friends hanging out and sipping. Mm-hmm. So we do some of those episodes because we just want to kind of invite you to the table. Like we really appreciate you all and you're part of us and you're invited to the table. Right. And how many times I tell you, hey, if you're in the Lexington area, hit me up and we will sit around and sip, you know? So, I can understand what he's saying. A casual listener, no, I totally agree. I mean, if you're new to bourbon, right, then that's definitely not your episode.
Well, Kenny, a way they can actually use that episode, if they don't want to listen to the two parts of it, we do provide the list, right,
on the social.
That list, even though you don't care about the banter and the subtleties of the actual blinds, right, you can use that list to where if you're feeling saucy at a restaurant and they might have one of these, you can get a pour and say, okay, this table of guys that have great palates that have been on a gajillion picks said, okay, this is a pretty good pour. Right. I'm going to use that information and I can get a pour with dinner. Right. Yeah. So even if you're not interested in the long episode format, you have the list.
And I'm going to go back to this because I think ego is a strong word and that can be perceived in a lot of ways. But I will just say right now that the number one thing that I feel that people appreciate about our podcast is authenticity. And that authenticity is something that's been there from the beginning. And I think authenticity is what binds us together. Like when I met Steven, hey, you into bourbon? Let's get together. Let's sip. I don't have Steven to my house initially and worry about what we're going to open and how much it costs or what I could pay for something on secondary and this and that. Sure, we talk about that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But when we hang out, like Kenny said, come over here and sip. When Kenny and I first met each other, that's what it was. It was the authenticity. About sipping, about the bonding, about the friendship, right? And that's not a fake thing to us. And I'll tell you right now, I know the list can look like it's ego involved because it's a lot of good bourbon, but the truth of the matter is that's supported out of our own pockets. None of us are getting any
that's not provided by anybody.
For even most of the bottles for this stuff. Whenever we do something that's listener sponsored, we're so appreciative of that because we are spending a lot of money on whiskey, and we're doing that because we love whiskey. We're not doing it for any other reason. We don't have massive sponsorship dollars coming in. We don't even have a Patreon right now. And I'm not saying we wouldn't be happy if we did. But, we're not doing it for shock value. And when we compare ourselves to other people, if we ever say anything critical about other people that are in the space, it's no different than you saying something critical about us, right? We're all up public figures, and we're all open to that, and we all can learn and grow, And
the big thing so our list that we had, do they include our picks? Yeah, but honestly, we, number one, can pick some great freaking whiskey. But number two, just honestly, part of it is like OBC Kitchen, BHG Group. They're huge.
Right.
Justin's House of Bourbon, Bourbon Outfitter. They're huge. So if you're a big player, per se, in the market, you get presented better barrels when you go do picks.
Right.
I have done so many picks with smaller groups that all four samples were not good because the distillery's giving you the leftover stuff people passed over.
Right.
So when you happen to be lucky and be involved, and I always say it all the time, I'm very blessed, very fortunate, very lucky. We get presented some good barrels. You just get lucky sometimes, and you get some good stuff.
Right.
But I will say the big thing for us on that, on our pick list, if you look, the ones that we're saying were great, they're some of our picks. They're not for sale.
Right.
They're not available.
Yeah, we're not pushing anything on you to sell you anything.
So when I'm talking about other whiskey tubers, a lot of whiskey tubers are getting called out now because they're getting kind of exposed sometimes for overhyping things and things of that nature. So when I call somebody out, it's because, man, I think they're really overhyping it and doing a disservice.
Right.
That's why we do a lot of stuff blind, or at least I present blinds to you two while we're doing Pass Try Buy.
Right.
But this was not some list of our picks that we overhyped and then we're trying to sell. Our stuff's not available for sale.
Right.
You can't buy these.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that at all.
And I think
just want to clarify that.
Yeah, and I want to capture one more last thing about that because I think, we spent a good amount of time talking about it. I think it deserves time to be talked about. My thing was there was recently a guy who was a whiskey tuber who called out other whiskey tubers talking about what they would pay and wouldn't pay for things. And we always do Pass Try Buy. We talk a little bit about secondary. We talk about retail. Your evidence, all you need to know about us and what we think about whiskey is me this year is Pappy 15. I get a Pappy 15 for $960 after tax. I not only opened that, not for an ego stroke, but because I want to share it with my guys here at this table and I want to enter it into our best of 2024. That's why I did that. I did it because I wanted to see how it would stack up. I wasn't worried about any of that. And then when we did a review on it on the podcast, I told you honestly what I would pay for it. And I think I said up to $1,100 because the secondary was $1,400. So guess who can come after me for that? Nobody.
Yeah, that's right.
because we're not just out here telling you I would pay this, and then we're not paying it. Most of these bottles, what did we do a review on a couple weeks ago? Castle and Key Wheated.
Yeah.
Guess what I did the very next day? Went to Kroger and bought a Castle and Key Wheated.
Got a good price on it too.
Yeah, I got a really good deal. Mine was even cheaper than Kenny's. And they even told me when I bought it, they said, how'd you know about this bottle? It's allocated. We only got 6 bottles, and we only have 4 left. And I said, well, I just was lucky enough to get a sip of it from my buddy and review it on our podcast, and there you go. So, Rick, we're happy that you left us a 5-star, that you didn't just trash our star rating, but we're critical of us. And you know what? We don't get them that often, but we always can explain ourselves more and learn and grow, and we're always happy to have the critical feedback, and we're happy you're listening. Seriously.
Yeah.
We do a variety of different shows. We have the Friday one single bottle.
Right.
We have a Tuesday short or extended long special with interviews or whatever.
Right.
And then we also have, the best at the end of the year. Right. So, we have a variety of different types of shows.
I agree.
So, we're going to hit or miss on everyone on different types. So,
right. No doubt.
And I always tell, you can look back, you can listen back to the episodes. I've definitely said, I am literally a nobody in the whiskey world.
Yeah, none of us are.
Nobody.
None of us are.
I tell every listener to find someone whose palate you line up with.
Right.
If it happens to be our palate, cool.
Works well for you.
Or it might be the opposite of our palate.
Yeah.
So if I say something's bad, you might think it's good, and vice versa. And I've even said that.
Right.
So that, we are true to ourselves, and that's what we stand by that.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if you would like a shout out, just leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or YouTube. And next time we record, we will give you a shout out. The gents, for this week, we have a bottle of Larceny Barrel Proof C924 Wheated Bourbon.
Oh, yeah. So this Larceny Barrel Proof Bourbon C924 release comes to us from the Heaven Hill Distillery. The bottle date is actually 2024. The ABV is 62.55. The proof is 125.1. This is non-age stated, but the Heaven Hill press releases over the years on Larceny have said that the whiskey is 6 to 8 years old. The mash bill is 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley. The MSRP on this guy is $65, but Total Wine in Lexington, Kentucky, right now, as of recording this episode, has this in stock for $86.99.
That's a deal, man.
So, Kenny, you know how I read this Total Wine price? This is Anthony trying to get
his bonus.
His pappy budget.
Yep.
That's right. Every little bit helps.
He marks it up to get his bonus.
You know what's funny? Total Wine usually has good prices on things. So I don't know if this is just a
lowest
hype
in town,
or if it's a Lexington market or whatever it is. But we got to wait till past try by. But Steven, you remember when we did a review on this? It was episode 64.
Way back.
And it was actually C921. So that was about 3 years ago.
We got the C.
Yeah, that's cool. C921 3 years ago. And I don't know if I have our actual past try by in front of us because we couldn't locate our notes before the show. We're a pretty unorganized podcast. But if we did have past try by, I think, if I remember correctly, I think we were both kind of like either tries or passes, just because I don't think we were buys.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think. But if Steven can find it, he can tell us. But what do you guys think about this? They've changed the bottle again. I think this is the third time they've changed the bottle.
It was like a copper top now.
Yeah.
We were a buy. I was a buy.
Okay.
You were a try.
Okay. Buy, try. There you go. So buy, try, and they've changed the bottle. Kenny, you said what? Copper top? Chester copper pot?
It's copper foil all on the neck now.
Mm-hmm. And they've put more copper in the label. Remember it was black and yellow. Wasn't it more black and yellow color? We don't have any old ones here. I think it was a black and manila color before. Yeah. And before that, before, if you go way back, I told this story in the last Larceny episode. And Kenny, I don't know if you ever heard this, but when Larceny was first...
It was an older episode. I probably didn't listen.
Missing out.
Such a great member of the podcast, hasn't even listened to the old episodes. So when Larceny started this barrel pick program, they did the first ever one that I heard of was at Liquor Barn. It was a cast strength at Liquor Barn. It had like a gray label on it. And I went in there and saw it in the case, and it was expensive. I think it was $100. And I was like, oh, what is this? And they're like, well, Larceny let us do like a barrel strength pick, blah, 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 blah. I'm asking the old guy that was over at the, I call him the old guy, but he's pretty old then. I'm not sure if he's still there, but he was over at the Chevy Chase Liquor Barn. He goes down into the case to get the bottle for me to look at and drops it on the floor, and it smashes everywhere.
Oh, the bottle? No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, oh, man, I felt so bad. I wasn't going to buy it. But then after, he smashed one bottle of it, I had to buy one.
Wow.
So I bought it, and I remember when I bought it, instantly, it had like a cola-y flavor to it. It was okay, but at the time I remember going, I should never spend anywhere close to $100 for that bottle. But then I did buy other Larceny batches. I think when we did the C921, that might have been the 6th total release. So now they're, add 3 on to that. It's 18 maybe, somewhere in there. This might be the 18th release. So this has been staple in the lineup pretty long now. Not as long as Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, but they fashioned it after the way Elijah Craig Barrel Proof was with 3 releases a year.
Yeah.
Now, do they have to worry about Blade and Bow coming after them?
Oh, for the key?
For the key?
No.
Because John Fitzgerald stole that whiskey with the key.
Right. John Fitzgerald, baby. It's a great story. It's actually a really, really cool story.
Yeah.
We went on several of the You Bourbon experiences and a few other tours down there.
Yeah.
And they talk about that. That's pretty neat.
I'm trying to find a picture of the old bottle for you guys to show you. I'm going to do Larceny C921 on my phone and see if the old bottle pops up so you guys can see what it looked like compared to the new one. Yeah, here's the old one right here. So you can tell me if you think the packaging is an improvement. You guys remember that now?
Yep.
The black label with the manila color and the keyhole.
Yep.
And all that.
Oh, yeah.
See it? I actually think the new packaging is nicer.
Oh, it looks nicer.
But this is the third time I think they changed it. The liquor barn was different too. It was like a grayish color, like I said, and now
they like the little ticket at the bottom that has the stuff on it. That
does look nice. It looks nicer than the other one, even though it's a little bit harder to look at. But yeah, so they've been changing. They didn't change the bottle shape. They just changed the labels on it. So that's pretty cool. That liquor store I was just looking at, King's Wine and Spirits, to show you guys that picture, has a Valentine's Day sale.
Do they have a dinner?
I don't think they have a dinner. I don't even know where this place is at. I just gave them free advertising. They actually have a thing in the corner of the screen to get $10 off.
They're probably in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to Cleveland? River Roots, what's up?
Hey, I'm hopefully going to Michigan towards the end of the month, I hope.
Oh, really? Where you going?
Passing up that way.
Just going there. What are you going to do?
Bourbon hangs.
Okay.
Bourbon hangouts. So if I go up that way, I might roll through Cleveland for one day and taste some barrels.
That would be good. That'd be good.
We'll see.
Are you going to see Dan and Sean?
No, different crew.
Different crew. Okay.
Yep.
John Layer.
Possibly John.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe see John on Friday.
Nice. Very good.
John and Harry and a few guys.
Cool. That's good.
So Larceny, barrel proof.
Yeah.
For last year, for our 2024 blinds, I remember Caleb, I think, submitted a B524.
Yes.
And talked about how great it was. And I think it finished was it middle of the pack?
Middle of the pack,
30 to 40th, somewhere through there.
Didn't do super well, yeah.
2023 was the very telling, and this is, since I have a reputation now of talking about other whiskey tubers, let's
bring it up.
So bring it on.
Bring it on.
2023, man, several whiskey tubers had Larceny and like first and third and second best and fifth, and dude, it just wasn't good.
That was cockamamie.
2023 was so bad that my wife had them single blind. I had them double blind, and we eliminated them from making it into our top 40 or whatever it was.
I tried to submit one.
It was not good. It wasn't good. It was that bad. So it's just, man, you got to watch, man. You really got to try to follow that money trail, that paper trail. I'm just saying.
Nobody said it was. It didn't smell like Elmer T. Lee's driver hat.
So historically, has one of these seasonal releases have been better than the other one?
I don't know. I don't know. The year, I hadn't paid enough attention, but the year that the whiskey tubers and other people gave it like such a high rating, I feel like that was a B that year, wasn't it? I'm probably lying, but I think it was a B that year.
Maybe, but then but for that one particular influencer, he ranked it. He had two different batches, one ranked first and one ranked third.
That's true, yeah.
Even though they weren't in our top 40 to 45 to 50.
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah. But once again, everybody's palate's different. Yeah. Find someone whose palate you line up with. But one of those years, I believe it was 2022, I believe was the year that we put a Larceny barrel proof in over the Elijah Craig's in the blinds.
Right.
That was the first year that we thought that, because honestly the ECBPs just were not good that year, and the Larceny did beat it to make it into our blinds.
Yep.
Well, boys, should we go for our first nosing?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, yeah.
I get ethanol.
Yeah, I get ethanol. I do get some of the, I guess it might be described as like maybe barrel char. And I get a hint of cinnamon. I am getting some cinnamon.
Butterscotch.
You getting butterscotch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see some faint butterscotch. I thought my nose was bleeding for a second, but it's not.
Is it from the butterscotch
just
or
that
cinnamon?
Post-nasal drip. It must be from that heavy, sweet barrel char.
Yeah, there's a bit of ethanol in this in there.
It does. It has ethanol. I'm not quite sure how to describe it.
Did you get a nice brownie note out of it?
There is some chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's chocolate. Brownie's a good descriptor for it. But me, again, I have such a tough time picking out chocolate. Maybe it's because I only eat fat kid chocolate, the sweet chocolate, and the chocolate on this seems darker. Doesn't it seem darker than that? Like you say brownie, it's like not like a Duncan Hines fudge brownie. It's like a dark chocolate brownie.
What's funny, you said, I'm getting like a fudgy brownie out of it.
You are getting a fudgy brownie? Yeah, you know what's funny? Like I could have said like a mix of chocolate caramel. So yeah, so it's got some nice notes other than does have heavy ethanol. I think so. Lights you up a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie, my first nose of it, for some reason, I thought it smelled young, which I didn't. I knew it wasn't, but that's kind of gone away.
Right.
I get a slight cinnamon, but the overwhelming to me is just ethanol. So,
do you guys know if the old Fitzgerald decanters are the same mash bill as this?
No, those old school ones are all Stitzel stuff, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, old Fitz is Stitzel, dude.
No, it isn't.
My old Fitz stuff up there.
I'm talking about the new decanter series. They share the same mash bill.
Oh, the new stuff.
Ones. Yeah, the new ones.
You said old.
No, I didn't mean old. I didn't mean like old Fitzgerald Stitzel. Yeah, I meant like old Fitz decanters, like my Tater collection. Yeah.
Oh,
Tater. I'm gonna look it up now.
Asterisk.
No, it's the same. It's the same as this.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I figured it was.
It's a weeded bourbon.
Okay.
Same as this. Yeah. So these are.
I mean, you definitely get that weeded out of it. You picking that up as well?
But this isn't the same weeded as like Weller that we just tasted the other episode last week where we had the blinds.
Right.
This is like more of like the Paragon, in my opinion. Like that register of wheat, if that's a wheat register.
It's just, wheat takes longer to develop. So, I'm not a young wheater guy, man, in general. It's got to be older.
Well, wait, hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Is this 6 to 8 year? What is this? 8 year?
Hold the phone, guys, okay?
Right. What you got?
Old Fitzgerald decanter is 75% corn, 20% wheat, and 5% malted barley. Okay. Compare that with this, which is, I just forgot, 68 corn, 20% wheat, 12 malted barley. So this has more malted barley, less corn. The other one's they just swapped the corn malted barley percentages. So that's interesting that they aren't using the same exact mash bill for those two. I wondered because to me the Fitz tastes more like Fitz to me does
take different
dusty cocoa, but it has more berry notes and more wheated notes that I get that I like better than typically from Larceny. So so Larceny must be the workhorse and Fitz must be the delicate, dainty one.
Pinky's Up edition, right?
There you go.
Let's taste.
Wow.
It lights your mouth up.
It does.
Like from the cheeks
to
the tongue.
It's almost borderline like drying. But it also has, I was going to say like peanut chocolate flavor. Like you got the chocolate in my head now and I'm getting a little bit of peanut chocolate flavors.
Now some of the better Larcenys I've had is like a peanut buttery chocolatey.
Okay.
Like for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Which makes sense as a different mash bill than Old Fitz, and I didn't know it was a different mash bill though.
Just by that small percentage, the swap into malted barley and corn. Yeah. That Fitz has more corn, and this one has more malted barley. That's crazy.
It definitely drinks its proof.
Yeah, this is not something that drinks on.
No, this is warm.
Yeah,
hot.
Compared to. I'm trying to think. When we did the blinds last week, we were guessing proofs. This, I would have guessed, was the highest proof if it was in the blind lineup because it tastes every bit of that 125. Well, I guess that would have been the highest proof in the lineup. What an idiot. Someone just smacked me.
Dumb face.
What is this, C924?
Yeah.
I wanted to look and see if there's any tasting notes from anybody else on the whiskey tubers since we talked about the whiskey tubers. Sorry, I'm not talking to Mike.
I'm not just saying whiskey tubers are bad, but you just have to watch who's pushing what and just, do your own research.
Right. So right now I'm on, do you guys want to hear this or do you want to keep talking about your tasting notes? I went on to Breaking Bourbon because they're a very popular website that a lot of people go to. And do you want to hear some of this or no?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. They have the nose as cocoa powder, cinnamon stick, barrel char, toasted walnut, and touch of smoke. We got what? Chocolate, cinnamon. I said barrel char, and then we didn't say touch of smoke or toasted walnut, but that's okay. Got that. Palate, I said, was chocolate and peanuts and things like that. They got chocolate coffee beans, roasted coffee beans, oak, caramel, and light clove. So is roasted coffee beans something to be in here? I never really looked at Breaking Bourbon's tasting notes that intensely on something.
I'm not getting coffee out of it.
I guess, not really. Not at all. Anyway, that's no disrespect to them.
I'm
coming back and saying I'm just comparing right now as we're tasting.
This thing lights you up, though.
Yeah, finished, they got cinnamon, Mexican chocolate, nutmeg, rye spice, black pepper, and slight smoke. The rye spice and black pepper, I feel like that is the finish. Mm-hmm. It's very spicy. And you know what's, Mexican chocolate. only had Mexican chocolate a handful of times. I don't know if I'd say that that's a note, but anyway. And they keep having a slight smoke throughout. Smoke. So that's cool. But they gave it a 3.5 barrels.
Barrel out of 5?
Out of 5, yeah. And I mean, if you know about the rating system, they go 4 and 5 barrels or 4.5 barrels is usually pretty tough to get to. So 3 to 3.5 is pretty average for them.
I mean, if it's out of 5, that would be like a 7 for us. 7 out of 10.
Absolutely.
And 7 out of 10 is like good and like decent, but not something you go back to and back to over again.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny that we're still talking about like 2024 whiskeys, even though we said we were going to try to rate 2025 whiskeys. It just so happens that's that hangover that we got. And there's not a ton of stuff. There's a lot of stuff being released, but not a ton of stuff that we got our eye on right now that's being released. So,
and this is 2024 still.
Yeah, it's still another 2024.
So we don't have to score this.
Yeah. So after sipping this, I can tell you guys that I definitely see that Paragon Southern Star is more of this type of weeder, right? Because this has a little bit of that like dusty, peanutty astringency that I don't necessarily like in a weeder. I like a brighter, more fruity weeder. This is one that's a little more harsh on the palate.
Yeah.
And I feel like it hit like that blind last week. And since we had it last week, it's a thing that I got that I can compare to, you know? One of the most common things that I can compare to. So, yeah.
I can get some darker chocolate.
Darker chocolate.
Peanut a little bit of.
Yep. And cocoa. Yeah. Well, what else you want to say about it? You guys going to line up at Heaven Hill to get me an 11-year-old Fitz decanter? I'm still on the lookout for one. Any of our listeners want to send
5 liter?
What's that?
I got a nice 5 liter.
Oh, the big one on the stand? Yeah, I wish I had one of those. It's worth like thousands and thousands of dollars. But no, I'm looking for the old Fitz 11-year from the fall 2024 release. It just hit the distillery. I think it's hitting nationwide. I've seen a couple on secondary, but I do collect the Fitz. So if anybody runs into that, you got to let me know because I need it in my life.
Boom. Oh, not
Kenny's like, I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
So, gentlemen, would you pass, try, or buy on the Larceny Barrel Proof C924 Weeded Bourbon? I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll stick my neck out there.
All right.
It drank hot.
Okay.
I didn't get much out of the palate because of the heat. I know it's only $65 unless you're paying Anthony's Pappy budget for Total Wine.
You son of a gun.
But I think I'm just going to be a pass on this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing, just the heat. I wasn't really enjoying the drinking of it at all.
Can you take yourself back to when we drank the C921 and think about what you liked about that so much?
No, I can't. Sorry.
We have to go back and listen to that episode.
I would have
because
to relive it.
You were a buy. But again,
that's true. I was a buy.
But back then, though, C921, guess how much that bottle was? It was $49.99.
Okay.
So now you're looking at a $70 to $85 price tag. Before it was a $50 bottle.
Yeah.
When it first hit for the first 2 years, it was a $50 bottle. So
I don't know if I would have a problem. It's not like it's jumped to like $115.
If this was $49,
I know, but still,
it's a different animal than being $70 to $80.
Well, yeah,
I'm just saying. So I think that may have been it. I think price may have factored in then. Kenny, do you want to go next? Or you want me to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
There is some flavor behind after the heat,
right?
But based on just the high ethanol pop, the draw, it drinks hot. And like, you know me, I'm a high proof guy.
Right.
I mean, I drink 140, 145 proof stuff all the time.
Right.
Hazmat's my jam. But a lot of the hazmat I drink that's really good drinks under. Mm-hmm. You know, this is 125 that drinks like it's 135 or more.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would definitely, I'm going to be a pass on this. I think for this pricing point, you can get something way better from like some Green River single barrel picks, or you can get a Stag Junior.
It's true.
Even though Stag Junior is not a weeder like this, but you can get a Stag Junior. I mean, nowadays even secondary is not super high anymore. But I don't know. I'm just trying to think what I would compare it to. But for $70 to $80, $75, I'm gonna be a pass.
Or hell, you can just wait for BT and they'll drop a single barrel or CYPB or in the gift shop for
Buffalo Trace.
Or for retail.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good point, Steven, because that's where I was going to go. I was going to say I'm not going to drink like Weller Special Reserve and say it's better than this, okay? Because it's not. But I would probably take an OWA or a Weller 12 or literally any other Buffalo Trace weeder. Probably some of the better other weeder picks from different distilleries and things like that. Probably over this. I think I was a try because I wasn't sure. And if I had to go back to the episode and project without even listening to it, what I would have said is what we were pretty early on in the program then, just in their 6th release. I was hoping for a lot more. And I don't think it's changed as much as I would have wanted it to for the better. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to join the two of you guys and say pass as well. In fact, I didn't buy any Elijah Craig barrel proofs this past year. I haven't bought any Larceny's now since the one I tried to enter in 2023, I think it was. Yeah. So I can't lie to everybody and say like, oh yeah, I'd give this one a try. Back then I would have given it a try because I thought they were going to have more potential down the road. Even after said various YouTubers and whiskey tubers and everybody else said that this was a whiskey of the year. I didn't see it. We didn't see it. I don't see it now. And so, yeah, unfortunately, I'm also a pass. And one thing I have to say that we completely forgot, Kenny, is where did you get this bottle, sir? We're almost done with the episode. We didn't even acknowledge the place that this bottle came from.
Yeah, I forgot about that because we were
going through my technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had recorded
my fat fingers
13 minutes and 14 minutes and then found out we didn't record.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
This is from the wonderful Hector.
Yeah. Corbin.
Or London.
Brooklyn Pizza.
Corbin, yeah.
So, yeah, Brooklyn Brothers Pizza, though. But no, Hector, man, he's just a great dude. I mean, that's the thing. Like, even before I was on the pod, even before Hector was giving us some bottles to review, Hector and I just, like, we texted all the time anyway, man. He's just a good dude, like Hector. But, yeah, Hector provided this bottle for us to do a review on, so we'll be getting this bottle back to him. But, yeah, so thank you, Hector.
Yeah, right there off the interstate.
But dead serious, that pizza
and wings.
I need to go back sooner than later.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to plan a family trip there one day and just go out there and just
the whole family like the pizza that we bought.
Valentine's Day,
exactly.
baby.
Yeah, there you go. Spend Valentine's Day at Brooklyn Brothers Pizza. How about that?
Hot.
Boom.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, BourbonOutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.